Coming up on WVU News, students could soon get their votes back on boards of governors around the state. I'm Samantha Smith, and I'll tell you how this could impact WVU.
I'm Melandra Molina, and coming up on WVU News, the Mountain State is experiencing a health crisis. A new national survey ranks us at the bottom, and according to the report, West Virginians are struggling, from chronic illnesses to life expectancy. What these numbers means for families.
A shorter week could be on the way for students. I'm Lily Reismumber, and coming up, I'll tell you about a bill that proposes a 4-day school week. WVU News starts now.
Two bills introduced this legislative session could restore voting power on WVU's Board of Governors, potentially reshaping who has a voice in key decisions. One of those bills would give voting rights back to students. I'm Jeremy Sands.
And I'm Lily Reisenweber. After a growing ICE presence targeting immigrants right here close to home, fear and frustration are building. Now community members are rallying, demanding answers and action.
These stories and more coming up on WVU News, an Emmy-award-winning newscast produced by television journalism students right here at West Virginia University.
Last year, Governor Patrick Morrisey signed West Virginia into the 287G program. This agreement allows state law enforcement to work more closely with ICE. It also grants officers special authority when operating under federal immigration enforcement.
That move expanded ICE's footprint across West Virginia and sparked a recent peaceful protest in Morgantown as residents took to the streets to have their voices heard. About 50 residents gathered outside of WVU Erickson Alumni Center, calling for an immigration system that honors constitutional rights and protects due process for all. Residents' concern come as federal authorities report that more than 650 people have already been arrested by ICE in West Virginia this year alone. This protest is one of the first of the year, as part of a series of organized protests expected across the state.
I'm actually a registered Republican, and the reason I'm out here is because we've got to follow those laws. We've got to follow due process. We're not following due process.
Last year in West Virginia, there were at least 20 protests tied to national movements, including demonstrations in Morgantown and other cities responding to federal policies and immigration enforcement.
Protesters made their frustrations with ICE clear, but they're not the only ones pushing for change.
Another group is trying to regain their voice through two bills introduced at the Statehouse this session. Legislative reporter Samantha Smith joins us now for more. Samantha?
Jeremy, Lily, a law passed last year removed voting rights from students, staff, and faculty on boards of governors around the state. But these bills could reverse that decision. West Virginia senators in both parties are trying to restore those voting rights. I traveled to Charleston to talk to lawmakers about these bills and what it could mean for universities statewide.
Colin Street is WVU's Student Government Association president and sits on the WVU Board of Governors, but with no vote, something he feels is essential for his job.
Having a vote is foundational to my ability to express and articulate the needs of the student body, because I can say all I want, and without a vote, it doesn't have to mean anything if no one will listen.
Street says his vote allowed him to represent the voice of his peers on the board. But now they've been silenced, and Street is not the only person that feels this way. Members of the West Virginia Senate are looking to give him and others voices back.
The bill to remove voting rights for students, staff, and faculty representatives started here in the House last session. But this year, it's the Senate that's trying to reverse that measure.
Republican Senator Mike Oliverio is the lead sponsor of Senate Bill 675, which would restore only the student vote.
I think it's important that students be involved in the process. I think it's important they have a right to vote. If we're going to ask them to complete their education and stay in West Virginia, we need to show them that their voice matters.
Senate Bill 551, sponsored by Democratic Senator Mike Wolfel, would restore the votes of all faculty, staff, and student representatives on these boards.
Can't give the students and the faculty and the staff a voice on the board of governors for a university. I think you're leaving out, critical parties that should have input.
Even though their bills are different, both senators say having a vote can inspire young people to be involved in more than just the Board of Governors.
If we take away the right of 20 students to vote statewide on their local Board of Governors, we're denying 20 kids every year an opportunity to get experience and prepare them to be the leaders of the future.
Street hopes at least one of the bills pass and he can continue to represent the student voice at WVU.
Both bills were introduced in January. Supporters say the goal is simple: give students and faculty a stronger voice and boost accountability at colleges across the state. Senator Oliverio believes his bill has the best shot at passing. He says he doesn't see much opposition to restoring the student vote.
Thanks, Samantha. As lawmakers debate who gets a vote in university boardrooms across West Virginia, they're also weighing changes that could impact students much earlier in their academic careers.
A proposal for a 4-day school week for kindergarten through high school is currently up for debate in Charleston. A 3-day weekend may sound appealing to most students, but for parents like Dwight Overstreet who work in a classroom, there are some major questions.
One of the things that I want to see is I wonder if other districts across the country are doing this as well too. And what's the success rate? What's the retention rate? What's the, are we able to keep teachers? Are we able to, make sure that kids come to school every day?
House Bill 4946 would create a 2-year pilot program to test a 4-day school week. The bill incorporates 1 teacher planning day a week and longer school days for everyone. Fewer school days could be a win for students, but West Virginia lawmakers say it's a non-starter without more child care funding for working families. According to the Center for American Progress, 64% of people in West Virginia live in a child care desert. Senator Joey Garcia from Marion County says the bill may create some complications.
Often school acts as child care for those kids that are ages 3 or 4 until they are 18. And so that to me is going to be a hard hurdle to overcome because we already don't have enough spaces for kids. Supporters of the bill say offering a 4-day school week may decrease the shortage of teachers in the state.
That's something that we could offer to teachers in West Virginia that our surrounding states don't. Hey, we have a 4-day school week.
If the bill passes, county boards of education would be required to hold public hearings to discuss the calendar changes with parents and teachers. As the debate continues in Charleston, the bill would let local school districts decide whether to move to a 4-day week. That means the choice could soon be in the hands of your local school board, leaving many families asking what happens on that 5th day when it comes to childcare.
A lot of questions for working parents right now, Lily. As lawmakers consider a 4-day school week in West Virginia, some educators say the conversation isn't just about schedules.
Jeremy, it's about family balance and overall well-being. Alondra Molina joins us live in the studio to tell us more about the health of West Virginians and some new data. Alondra?
That's right, Lily. Journey. A new national health survey ranks West Virginia at the bottom in the country for overall health and well-being. This new research has the Mountain State ranked 50th in the nation in overall health. And for many West Virginians, the problem isn't just about doctor's visits or diet. It's daily struggles that add up fast and can result in negative consequences. Here on West Virginia University's campus, students pass the Recreation Center and health services every day. For students, it's easy to access health care on campus, but that's not the case across the state.
There's not a lot of just community resources in general in the state, especially when you are getting out of Morgantown and Charleston into those more rural communities. There's not a lot there.
A recent national health survey says the state as a whole is struggling. According to a report from Smart Asset, West Virginia ranks last in the nation for overall health. More than 40% of adults in West Virginia are considered obese, and smoking rates are the highest in the country at just over 22%. But for a lot of young West Virginians, the biggest health challenge isn't something you can see.
mental health, anxiety, and depression. According to the report, more than 22% of people in the state say that they experience poor mental health days for 14 or more days per month. This is one of the highest rates in America.
Doctors say higher rates of mental health diseases are associated with higher rates of substance use as well. But Professor Steve Davis at WVU School of Public Health says it's not just about understanding the individual, but also their environment.
When you don't have good economic opportunities, okay, and you have more poverty, that can lead to substance use issues. That can lead to what are collectively known as the diseases of despair.
Despite the challenges, Davis says change is possible, but awareness and access to health care remains key. Davis says the state can improve health outcomes if it supports both people and the communities they live in. West Virginia may rank near the bottom, but doctors say that doesn't mean we're stuck there. Health experts point to national research showing that just 30 minutes of moderate exercise 5 days a week can lower your risk of heart disease by up to 30%, while losing just 5 to 10% of body weight can significantly reduce blood pressure and diabetes risk.
Thanks, Alondra. Coming up, rising prices lead Morgantown residents to find better ways to balance their budgets.
That story and more after the break.
As the cost of clothing continues to rise, Gen Z consumers are being more conscious about their buys. After the break on WVU News, I'll tell you more about the growing popularity of thrifting nationwide.
I'm Reagan Deuceman, and after the break on WVU News, I'll tell you about the 18-year-old and his family making Morgantown a little bit sweeter.
Hi, we're WVU. You probably know us for screaming. And yeah, we're pretty good at it. But here, it's more than a chant. It's our celebration of innovation.
Let's go.
Our rallying cry for community.
Let's go!
And honestly, it's just our way of life. So whether you're chasing big dreams or just chasing sunsets,
let's go!
Quiet and ready in control room. 3, 2, 1. Fan in bumper.
WVU News is local, in-depth, and always on the move for you. And it's always on YouTube, on the web, and on the Reed College of Media website. A national first-place Emmy-award winning college newscast, taped at the Waterfront Studio at West Virginia University. Stay in the know, stay connected, watch WVU News.
I'm Samantha Smith, your legislative reporter, and I'm reporting here at the state capitol in Charleston, West Virginia, and this is WVU News.
As prices continue to climb, residents in Morgantown say they're feeling the strain. The average family of 4 spends as much as $300 a week on groceries.
That means everyday staples like beef, bread, and beverages cost more than they did just a few years ago. And here in West Virginia, hunger isn't just a statistic. It's a reality for tens of thousands of families. According to Feeding America data, more than 277,000 people in the state face hunger, and 1 in 5 children is living in a food-insecure household. To help fill the gap, West Virginia has around 139 active food pantries located in more than 78 cities and communities. With grocery bills climbing and household budgets feeling the strain, many Americans are looking for new ways to stretch their dollars. And for some, that starts in their closets.
That's right, Lily. But secondhand fashion isn't just about saving money anymore. It's become a trend and a statement. I hit some thrift stores, and here's what I found out. The U.S. secondhand apparel market is booming. Fueled by economic pressure, the search for unique styles, and environmental concerns, more shoppers are turning to thrift stores and resale platforms instead of buying new. Debanjan Das, WVU Associate Professor of Fashion Design and Marketing, says rising everyday expenses like clothing force younger shoppers to look for cheaper alternatives.
And when the money is tight, and money is really tight now, so what Gen Zs are doing, balancing all the expenses that they have to make and, their everyday expenses. So what they're doing is they're pivoting towards other avenues. and one of the avenues is thrifting.
Traditional thrift and donations make up about $26 billion of the market, while resale brings in another $30 billion. Jonathan Lopez, owner of Curated Closet, says thrifting helps reduce waste by keeping usable clothing out of landfills.
Well, every piece that's pulled out of a Goodwill or pulled out of a Goodwill bins is an item that would have gone into a landfill. So that we give it another life here.
Gen Z has relied on secondhand fashion more than any other age group and accounts for over 40% of global consumers. The average thrift shopper saves more than $2,000 a year by buying secondhand. Morgantown resident Troy Doherty says he started reaching for thrifting pieces instead of store-bought items.
I've realized every time I go to get new clothes, it usually sits and I just end up re-wearing the clothes I thrift. Why spend $60 for a new t-shirt if you can find something better for $20?
The market has nearly doubled in recent years, from $28 billion in 2019 to $49 billion last year. Experts say it's projected to reach $74 billion by 2029. Some of the video you saw in that story was shot at the ranch store right here in Morgantown. All proceeds from that thrift store go towards the Chestnut Mountain Ranch, which is a home and school for boys in crisis. Visit ranchstore.org for more information on how to support or donate.
Jeremy, I love hearing that the money from thrifting at the ranch store is going towards a great cause. Well, in every neighborhood, there are stories we pass by every day. Stories that don't ask for attention but deserve to be seen. Some are quiet, some are powerful, all of them matter.
And those stories will be featured in a new segment called Seen and Heard, the story next door. This week, we meet a high school student who could be the next big entrepreneur.
Reagan Deuceman joins us live in the studio to tell us more. Reagan?
Thanks, Lily. Jeremy, while most high school seniors are focused on homework and graduation plans, one 18-year-old in Morgantown is balancing textbooks with business deals. This week on Seen and Heard, I met Mateo, a young man who is turning a classroom dream into a growing local company, all before receiving his high school diploma.
While most high school seniors are worried about prom and graduation, 18-year-old Mateo Martinez is planning his next business venture. Martinez is the owner of Seb's Donuts, a homemade donut shop which opened last month in Morgantown. What makes his shop even more unique is the fact that everything is made from scratch.
It's very easy to find donuts that are already made and you just heat them up. But I feel like if I want to do a donut shop, I'm going to do it correctly and keep it original, like how it used to be, old-fashioned. So I feel like I said, no one in Morgantown does homemade donuts like we do.
Local businesses like Seb's are the backbone of West Virginia's economy. According to the West Virginia Division of Economic Development, small businesses make up 98% of businesses across the Mountain State.
And the community is already showing support, as the shop has seen heavy traffic since its opening week. Natalie Ketchum drove nearly 40 minutes from Waynesburg, Pennsylvania, after seeing Martinez's videos on social media.
Oh my God, they're delicious. They're the best I've ever had.
For Martinez, balancing homework and business orders isn't easy, but he says he wouldn't be here without his family.
I wake up every day feeling like I need to kind of give back to them. They've put me in an amazing opportunity to excel in life and everything, and I feel like I can't let that opportunity go downhill without grabbing it and using it.
With high school graduation on the horizon, Martinez's eyes remain on the future. He hopes within the next 5 years he continues to expand the business and open even more shops, proving you're never too young to chase your dream in West Virginia.
Seb's Donut Shop is just one of nearly 2,000 new businesses recently registered across West Virginia. But for Mateo, it's more than donuts. It's proof that big dreams can start small and grow right here at home. Because sometimes the American dream isn't far away. It's living right next door. And that's all for this week's segment of Seen and Heard.
What a great story, Reagan. After the break, one of WVU's most iconic traditions is taking the court again at the WVU Hope Coliseum.
And we'll look at how one head coach's success in his third season has fans excited for the future.
Our sports team is with us after the break. Don't go anywhere.
I'm Nakia Bracey, and straight ahead on WVU News, Coal Rush is in full swing here at the Coliseum, and these fans are already setting the tone.
Let's go!
I'm Braden Lazo here inside WVU Hope Coliseum, and this is WVU News.
Welcome back. When WVU's Coal Rush tradition was inaugurated in 2024, the alternate uniforms quickly became a fan favorite.
This tradition, now coming to men's basketball for the first time, signifies generations of work and struggle for West Virginia's coal mining families.
Sports anchor Nakia Bracey joins us now live in the studio to tell us more about the Mountain State's signature tradition. Nakia?
Thanks, Lily. Jeremy. While previous men's basketball jerseys have been featured as nods to the coal mining industry, this will be the first time the team wears a uniform completely dedicated to our state's history. It was a sea of black as the men's basketball team took on 13th ranked Texas Tech at the WVU Hope Coliseum, and a night filled with fun for fans and respect for West Virginia coal miners. WVU is rolling out the blue and gold carpet for the unveiling of the Coal Rush jerseys in the Hope Gas Coliseum. The Mountaineers took on Big 12 opponent Texas Tech in their new threads. This is the first time the WVU Hoopers have debuted a Coal Rush uniform since the promotion began in 2024.
The Coal Rush isn't just a uniform, it's a tradition. WVU basketball created the Coal Rush jersey to symbolize the grit and hard work of coal miners throughout the state.
Miners like Hunter Hayes, who works for the Marion County Mine Company. Hayes says it's nice to be more than a statistic.
We are being celebrated for, being tough, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, whether, it's someone who has sacrificed a lot, not just for myself, not just for my family, not just for, everybody as a whole. It's just nice to be celebrated in a way that's not negative.
For Coach Ross Hodge, it's about going beyond basketball and recognizing the hard work of miners throughout the state.
Our guys a little bit of perspective into, the people of this state, how hard they work, blue collar, and again, anytime you get a chance to honor them, I think it's something that's unique and special.
Since the inception of the state, hard work and coal miners have been synonymous.
As generation after generation of miners are involved in the industry, there's family connections, there's whole community connections that certain parts of the state, even more than now.
And those community connections came alive in the first ever Coal Rush in the Coliseum, despite the Mountaineers falling to the Texas Tech Red Raiders 70-63. The energy inside the Coliseum isn't just fueled by tradition, it's also driven by results on the court. Just 3 years into his tenure, women's basketball head coach Mark Kellogg has brought a winning culture to Morgantown, turning the Mountaineers into a consistent threat to the Big 12.
Since arriving in Morgantown in 2023, Mark Kellogg has quickly established a winning culture that has fans excited for what comes next.
when he came here from, I think, Stephen F. Austin University, he brought Jordan Harrison with him, and as we all see, she's a dog on the court. So the first couple games, we saw the relationship between her and JJ on the court. It was just insane.
Kellogg preaches the 4 E's, which are energy, effort, enthusiasm, and emotion. This keeps the team level-headed and focused throughout the season. WVU athletic beat writer Spencer Ripchick says Kellogg's brand of basketball is tough and appeals to players all across the country.
An enjoyable place where people outside of the West Coast or all over the nation that want to come here and play because it's a competitive team. It's a team that's going to go to the NCAA tournament every year. It's going to make a run in the Big 12 tournament, and it's going to be a top 25 team year in and year out.
As the clock winds down here in Morgantown, the turnaround for WVU women's basketball has moved just as quickly. In under 3 seasons, Mark Kellogg has already become the fastest coach to 50 wins in program history. And WVU is firmly in the Big 12 race.
Kellogg owns a 513-141 career record and has made 8 consecutive postseason appearances across the Division II and Division I level. Braden Laszlo, WVU Sports, Morgantown.
Coach Kellogg's success in Morgantown was not a surprise. Kellogg boasts a 78% win percentage over his 21-year coaching career. And teams led by Kellogg have only lost 3 or more games in a row 7 times.
Thanks, Nakia. Thousands of patients travel to Morgantown each year to receive medical care at WVU hospitals.
And for those families who need a home away from home at low to no cost, there is the Rosenbaum Family House. Since opening in 1999, the Rosenbaum Family House has provided lodging for more than 31,000 families.
And now they're having their annual fundraiser, and they need student volunteers. Bluegrass in the Backwoods fundraiser is scheduled for June 11th.
If you would like to volunteer, please call Josh Spurbeck at the Rosenbaum Family House at the number on your screen.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of WVU News. I'm Jeremy Sands.
And I'm Lily Reisenweber. You can visit us online on our website. You can also watch our shows on YouTube and statewide on West Virginia Public Broadcasting.
We also stream on HD Media's website and on KDKA TV's website. Thanks for watching WVU News. We'll see you next time.